What up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy J Star back again with the final look for the week 16 slate here. Gonna get into this as we always do. Let's get right into the injury report. So let's see. We got Colts and Falcons game. It's looking like center Jack Anderson is gonna be out for the Colts. One of their linebackers is gonna be out, and then Braden Smith, tackle, is gonna be out. Moving on to the Falcons here, it looks like everybody's able to go. Okay, so everybody's able to go there. Washington and the Jets game, we got from the Washington side, it looks like Tyler Larson, the center, is going to be out. Tackle is going to be out. And Brian Robinson is still going to be out. Okay. And then for the Jet side of things, we got Aaron Rodgers, of course, out. Zach Wilson out. So we got one quarterback left. And I believe it's Trevor Siemian. And then for the Browns and the Texans game, it's looking like it's on the Brown side right here. So we got one of their linebackers is going to be out. Defensive end is going to be out. And then their starting safety is definitely going to be out. Another linebacker is going to be out. Okay, so it's a lot out there for the Browns. But it seems like at least their full line and their cornerbacks are still there. So I believe their defense will be okay. When the Texans, though, we got Will Anderson Jr. still out. So that's pretty big still. Linebacker Cashman is still going to be out too. CJ Stroud is out. So that's going to be, hurtful for them for sure. Defense, and then of course their starting quarterback. But it looks like, do they get Nico Collins back at least? He's questionable. Okay, so then we got the Lions and the Vikings here. So from the Lions side of things, we got some people out here. Fullback is going to be out. CJ Gardner-Johnson is still going to be out. Jerry Jacobs, that's going to be big. Believe that's their slot cornerback, so he's going to be out. That means Addison and Jefferson, when they move into the slot, they should be able to do some work for sure. Brock Wright is going to be out, so it looks like they're going to be left with just Laporta here, so possibly a lot of work for Laporta. And then for the Viking side of things, we got Alexander Madison. I thought he was going to be officially just out, okay, but he's questionable, even though he did not participate in practice. So, okay. Brian Murphy is going to be out. So, I believe that's the right side. So, I mean, they could move over St. Brown over there if they want to, too. So, he definitely could take advantage of that. Jalen Naylor is out, with concussion. Okay. And that's about it. Besides that, I think Jameson Williams lines up on the right side. So, if you want a value play, possibly take a shot at him, you could. And then we got, for the Packers, we got Devondre Campbell out. And then I believe Luke Musgrave is officially out. Okay, so Kraft is still able to be a pick here. Darnell Savage is out. So we're looking at from the middle of the field, from safety to, I would say, what I want to say, not safety, but from the slot receiver to even the run game for sure against the Packers so far. Christian Watson is doubtful, so he's probably out for sure. And a little bit banged up for the receivers there. They're questionable. I think Wicks is probably the most healthiest one, I would think, out of him and Reed. So then for the Panther side, looks like everybody's a full go. So we move on from there. We got the Seahawks and Titans. Jamal Adams is going to be out. And then Frank Clark is going to be out for the Seahawks. So that leaves some deep plays down the field. And also, let's see, what else? Because I said linebacker Frank Clark, right? So maybe the run game too, a little bit of exploit for maybe Henry. But then for the Tennessee Titans, we got Sean Murphy Bunting out, and that lines up with DK. So DK is definitely going to be in play. And we already seen, a lot of receivers out wide, perform very well against the Titans. And with them having Geno Smith back, I definitely expect DK to actually hit with that. And then it looks like we got Jack Gibbons, linebacker, going to be out. Luke Gifford is going to be out too. So both of their linebackers is out. That's really bad for them. And then safety, Amani Hooker is going to be out. So, man, they got a lot of people out here. We got Will Levis questionable. We got defensive end. Kyle Phillips also going to be out. Wide receiver. Jeffrey Simmons. Defensive tackle is going to be out. Kayvon Wallace. Wow. Golly, safety is going to be out. Yeah, I don't see how, I want to say, DK doesn't do really good in this game. Like, one of those receivers for sure, even if it possibly could be Lockett too. But the safety my bad, and even JSN, since the safeties are out, like, that's crazy. So a lot there, man. Geno could be a good play. And then we got Jaguars and the Bucks here. What I'm really waiting to know for sure is CJ Beathard is going to start or not here, because that decides everything here. There's nobody out besides Trevor Lawrence being questionable and then Zay being questionable. I think Zay is not going to play though. So they're going to be out there with a depleted wide receiver, set of receivers there to get the ball to. Really is going to probably be super double. It's going to have to, I would think, go to the tight end and also the Washington kid in the slot. So then we got the Bucks side of things, and they're actually healthy for the first time. The defense is full health. So, I expect the defense to probably show up since they are in first place and trying to stay in and hold on to that first place position. And then we got Cowboys and Dolphins here. It looks like we got Jonathan Hankins going to be out, defensive tackle for the Cowboys, and then doubtful for Tyron Smith. Wow. So one of their linemen, their go-to lineman, is going to be out there. I wonder how fast Dak is going to be trying to get the ball out. We got for the Dolphins, it looks like just Robert Hunt, which I know was one of their best guards. It's going to be out. And then we got the Cardinals and the Bears here. We got Marquise Brown out. Bobby Price is going to be out at cornerback. Then we got, who is that? Garrett Williams is going to be out at cornerback. Okay, so, wow. I wonder what's that do to DJ Moore. Then probably puts him in play a little bit more. And then also, since Marquise Brown is out, Greg Dortch is still also questionable. See, I wonder, man, they're going to be super depleted. I think a lot of targets to McBride, which he's in a really good spot here against the Bears. We got Trevin Jenkins at guard out for the Bears. And then we got Sewell, linebacker, going to be out, which I believe that helps out McBride. So, yeah, man, golly. So it's a lot of injuries to report there. So let's get into this slate, man. Let me get my notes up and things. So from the first game here, we got the Colts and the Atlanta Falcons. So I don't believe it was really injuries here that's going to decide this game at all. So, I mean, we just got a pretty good game, I feel like, with the Colts, as long as everybody's healthy for them. Let's check this again because, I mean, Pittman, if he's going to be able to play, then they should be good here. So with Minshew over here, it looks like for the Falcons, people are attacking him in the slot, and then at the tight end position, the only thing, man, it's hard to even say who that is for Minshew, but this could be a game for Downs. Then he could be in play, but when it comes to the tight end, I mean, it's a toss-up, man, there. So don't really know where to go there. And possibly, pass catching back could be, something. So, but Taylor's first game back, I mean, he's going to be very low owned. If he does hit, I don't see anybody barely even having him. So, but like I said, Downs is probably the best play. Of course, you can take shots at Pittman if he's able to go. But like I said, where people are attacking him is at the tight end and the slot receiver area there. Is where they're getting the best production at. So then when we talking about for Ritter side of things, it's looking like for the Colts, people are attacking him with the pass catching back. Oh, man, another week where we can try, have Bijan Robinson can hurt us or, win us all our money, right? So definitely, Bijan Robinson, and then it's looking like out wide. So, of course, London. So it should be a pretty simple stack there of Bijan Robinson and London to be able to hit with Ritter. Just that we know this team kind of fails us a lot, like being that they don't pass enough to London and then they don't run enough with Bijan Robinson. It doesn't make any sense, man. So then we move on over to the Packers game here. It's really simple, I feel like, over here. Like, if you think Bryce Young does get it done, I believe it's definitely going to be with Thielen since we've been getting attacked in that slot. But besides that, Chuba Hubbard, could possibly catch a touchdown for Bryce Young. And if he gets one, too, with Thielen, then he does definitely hit with 4,700. We already saw what White was able to catch a touchdown. Godwin didn't get a touchdown. He had the 100 yards. So, but I definitely think Thielen possibly could score in this game, since the middle of the field is banged up for the Packers with, Savage and also Campbell being out there. So it benefits a lot to Thielen. I mean, they might get back, I want to say, Jair, which would actually strengthen the slot area. But I don't know for sure if he's going to play. He's been, basically feel like he's kind of holding out or something this season because he's just been out way too much. To me, at least. But then we got Jordan Love over here. He's been playing good. I think last game might have been one of his. Well, no, the game before that was probably his worst game. So this, he's coming off of a pretty decent game. Only thing, his receiving core is kind of banged up. I feel like, he's going to have to probably pass a touchdown to Aaron Jones to really hit here because the receiving core is so messed up. It would be Wicks, I would feel like, has the best shot here because you need to attack the what I want to say Carolina Panthers out wide and then with the pass catching back. So Wicks has been that receiver when it comes to they playing a man style defense where they go to. I don't mind also even stacking a little bit with Kraft, taking some Kraft shots because since Musgrave is not going to be playing, that benefits Kraft. He still continues to get good targets and and produces pretty well. Like every game he's played and for his price, he still I feel like can hit. Then we move on though to this Cleveland Houston game here. Flacco seems to be a go. So over here in this game, Houston has been getting what is it? The slot, the tight end, and then the pass catching back. So we're looking at, possibly Ford, but then at slot, it's gonna be Elijah Moore. The best play to me though is just gonna be Njoku. Kind of feel like a skinny stack if you're thinking Flacco is having a really good game here. I think it's Njoku and Flacco and just call it a day to me. So from the other side here though, the quarterback is going to be Case Keenum, right? Yeah, slated to start here. Don't really know what to expect from him. But if he does have all his weapons, then like if Nico Collins comes back, it looks like the Browns are being attacked right there too. So if Nico Collins is able to play, we got Nico Collins. If not, then we got Noah Brown. And then besides that, it looks like they also are being attacked with pass catching backs. I don't remember Singletary catching a lot, but yeah, okay. So he did come off with 5 targets though, so possibly he could be in play then because, like I said, that's where they are attacking the Cleveland Browns. So when it comes to Detroit in this Minnesota game, this should be a really good game here. Looking at Goff, I believe it's pass catching back against Minnesota. Even though they're a really strong team against the run, but if you're trying to throw to your running back, you can get some production there that way. Besides that, it's looking like the slot area and then out wide. So since the slot, we already know St. Brown, real easy there. So out wide, we did mention, right, that Minnesota's cornerback was out or something like that, and that was supposed to benefit Jameson Williams at 3,700. So could be something here with Jameson Williams, but definitely St. Brown should be able to take advantage of even going out wide to that right or moving in the slot since that's where they've been being attacked. Like I said, the run game is very hard. It's probably going to take a lot of dumps, I feel like, for Gibbs to get it done in this game, but I definitely see St. Brown. Jameson Williams could hit on a big shot. We've seen him do it, like, I think at least 3 times this year, matter of fact, because he has 3 touchdowns, and I'm sure it's off of, like, big shot, 32 yards, 45 yards. And then the other one was rushed in. Okay, so yeah, we know what he's able to do. So with that matchup for him, benefiting him could actually work out in a game where it should be a lot of scoring going on. So for Mullen's side of things, I believe, let's see, for the Lions, is pass catching back in slot. Ty Chandler, I feel like, is definitely going to be in play because of that. And then both of these receivers are in play, but since they don't really have a legit slot receiver, I feel like they toss in Osborne. He was always a wideout before this season. They started putting him in the slot. I feel like they toss him in there because they want to be able to just move him out for one of their better receivers to take advantage when they want to. And so both of these receivers are going to be in play because of that. So I would kind of, to me though, I know everybody's on Addison. I like Jefferson a little bit more though this weekend. I really think he's probably going to have a good game there. So would say that, I know Addison is coming off of the game that he had. The only thing is I look at those catches that he caught for touchdowns at least, and a lot of them was kind of like luck based to me. Like, barely caught one that was almost hitting the floor, and then also the defender failed diving for the ball to hit it. And then that last minute touchdown throw, moving out of the pocket and he kind of jumping over but about like 3 people around him. Yeah, I just think Jefferson probably ends up getting it done in this game. And I don't know, too, to say about the tight ends. They both are just, good plays, I would say, but they are priced up very high here. And I just kind of would go more to the receiving core of this game, in this game particular, at least. I know they about to play again, too, coming soon. I think they play the last game of the season. So then we got Washington and the Jets here. With Sam Howell, I think he's starting. Let's see if there's any news for sure. So they don't even report for sure. I guess he's going to start. But Sam Howell in this matchup here, looking like for the Jets, looking like they're being attacked out wide slot, and then also in the pass catching back. So Gibson should be in play then for that. 5,200, since that's what he normally does, is a lot of the pass catching. So he should be able to benefit from that. When it comes to out wide, I'm trying to think, like McLaurin more than likely has the harder matchup with Sauce. I feel like he benefited a lot though with Brissett more than having Howell out there though. So kind of wonder if they'll end up, if Howell starts off this game bad, will they end up going with Brissett again? But McLaurin, and then in the slot, by far Samuel. I feel like Samuel would be the way I would go, because it feels like most people try to attack the middle of the Jets and try to stay away from out wide to me. And of course, so you're looking at like a Gibson, Samuel, even they just don't go to their tight end enough. So I'm looking more like a Samuel and a Gibson would be my plays here. If I'm thinking Sam Howell is doing good, and then for the Jet side of things, we got Trevor Siemian's going to start, right? Yep. So him having a week at practice, I feel like should benefit him, to go with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. We've seen Washington give up for both of these two things, and that's what they usually give up pass catching back to. So, and then of course out wide, you need to attack them. And I think Garrett Wilson probably ends up with like 10 targets in this game. I think he can definitely hit for 5,800 against Washington too, even with a backup quarterback. I mean, he's been playing with backups almost all his career. So yeah, it's nothing different and nothing new for him. And then moving on from that game, we got Seattle. Geno, I don't know what's going to happen with Will Levis here. I feel like their offense gets a little worse, I think, if Will Levis doesn't play here. So, with Tannehill coming in, I just feel like they're going to stick to a lot of running. So Henry could be in play, if Tannehill, I feel like definitely he's going to get a lot of rush attempts. Besides that, I don't know what's going to happen with the pass catching, because I believe in Seattle, a lot of people, we usually used to pick on them in the slot, and that's where everybody picks on them at. Yeah, so doesn't really benefit Hopkins. And then Westbrook-Akini was their slot receiver, so I'm thinking maybe possibly Chris Moore is going to be in there in the slot there. So, Derrick Henry, Chris Moore, possible there for stacking on that side. But then with Geno here, we already know DK has that matchup with the cornerback being out, so he's going to be huge in play. I wonder what's going on with the Kenneth Walker scenario here. Oh, we'll play in Sunday's game. Okay, so that's good to know. So I was wondering if we was going to have a cheap running back option there. So he's going to be good to go. I don't mind, taking shots at Kenneth Walker too at 6,200. But like I said, DK is going to get the first shot to try to, hit on. And then it was, what I want to say, the safeties was out too here. So I think that could benefit JSN, being able to produce. If they end up doing what they kind of did at the end of the game, sending him deep down the field, that was his biggest problem, is that they don't take a lot of shots with him down the field. So I think now that they saw what he was able to do and win them the game, he might end up being in play this week for 4,500, So definitely think that can also be a good play with JSN. Lockett is just hasn't shown anything lately. It almost looks like he's slowing down too. So Jacksonville here, this game was supposed to be a really good game if Trevor was playing. So we're going to have to stay tuned for that, because if Trevor is playing, I'm definitely looking at a lot of the receiver weapons a lot differently here. I believe he would be, taking deep shots to Ridley. I also think Ingram's points is really good here. If Trevor Lawrence is able to go, I like these two here. We attack, Tampa Bay out wide, even in the slot, and of course even a tight end. And we've been getting good production for all that when it comes to fantasy. So I definitely believe if Trevor is able to go, Ridley and Ingram's fantasy, put them in your lineups for sure if he's able to go. But if he's not able to go, I'll be more cautious on picking those players. I would be probably only looking at Pete Washington, really, because we did see the Bethard continue to throw him the ball in that game when Pete Washington went off because of what was that? Kirk had got hurt. So I definitely could see that end up working out. My bad. For Tampa Bay side of things, though, here we got Baker, of course, with the same almost stack of last week. It's just that it would not be mostly Godwin. It would probably be Evans in this game, since the production from the Jaguars comes out wide and then the pass catching back. It's not really in the slot. So I'm seeing Evans and White being a good stack to go with Baker Mayfield here. And then for the Arizona-Chicago game here, I think the rain has supposed to be cleared up. So by Sunday in there. So that helps this game a lot. But when it comes to stacking with Kyler Murray, I feel like a skinny stacks on both of these sides of this game is probably the best way to go. Kyler Murray with McBride, which also makes this an easy game to just say to run back. But also, I won't completely just say it's a skinny stack over here, because Fields with DJ Moore for sure, but it's going to be hard. But I think one of these running backs ends up doing good. Either it be Roshan or Herbert. This is too good of a matchup, man, against Arizona. Like every running back has done good. It's just we just don't know which one is going to get the touches and the volume and actually just show up and produce really. So you can take a shot if you end up getting down there with some cheap running backs with like a Roshan and Herbert. I know Fields is like their real running back there, so he could end up stealing all their production away, rushing in himself. But I do think since they are at home, they will lean on somewhat of that run game too. Also, for Arizona, I won't knock that. Like, we got Dortch, Michael Wilson. I believe Chicago runs a zone. Michael Wilson did perform well at the beginning of the season against zone. The only thing is that was all his production was kind of with Dobbs. We haven't really seen nothing with Kyler Murray. But in a game where, Marquise Brown is out, I expect more targets going to somebody like a Michael Wilson. But let's check again because the Bears, they are being attacked out wide. So we're looking at a Michael Wilson, possible Dortch. Could be, some value plays, especially if you're doing like an afternoon only or something like that. Could be some good plays there. So then we got Dallas and Miami. Dak Prescott, I think this is going to be a bounce back game for him. I actually think he will show up here. We have, let's see. So people are attacking the Dolphins a little bit with pass catching back, but mostly it's going out wide into the slot receiver. So we're looking at Lamb. We're looking at, where is it at? Brandon Cooks. They run a 12, so most of the time these two are the main receivers that's in, and then they might toss in a Michael Gallup. So we're looking at these two mostly. I don't even mind taking some shots at Ferguson just to be a little bit different than some of the tight ends, because earlier in the season, Miami was being attacked at that tight end and giving up mad points there. So I could see Ferguson actually producing pretty well, especially since he gets like 8 targets a game. Like I don't see why you wouldn't still take shots at that with a Dak Prescott. So for the Tua side of things, man, it's really simple, man. Come on now, like Tyreek Hill plays, Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill even plays and doesn't play, whatever, still take shots at Tyreek Hill, Waddle. They don't use their tight ends. Both of the running backs is gonna be in play, so it's really simple, man. Like I don't. If somehow Dallas is able to somehow slow the run game down, because since they got ran on so badly, I would think they would put a lot of emphasis on trying to stop the run. But all that ends up saying to me is that they're gonna get a dose of the track run, track meet and everything with, of course, Tyreek Hill and Waddle combined. So yeah, that would benefit Tua more though if somehow they are able to, stop the run. So if you see that scenario playing out, definitely get your Tua lineups loaded up, with some Tyreek Hill or Waddle or both of them. So then to finish this off, man, let's see. So what did I got, man? What do I really want to do here this time? So I think I'm gonna go with the early, what I want to say, explosive game. So I'm gonna go with the Detroit game here. I think my first look, I went with the last explosive game, which I think is going to be this Dallas-Miami game. I like the Jacksonville game if Trevor was playing, but, knowing that, I didn't know he was even in a concussion protocol at first. So, but knowing that, like I said, on the road, I am going to go with Goff, and I'm going to go with St. Brown. I think that stack actually works out. And then I want to say, what else do I want to go with here? I'm going to go with the Packer game for my running backs, period. I think both my running backs here I'm going to go ahead and take. I think Aaron Jones might be lower owned. He just been failing everybody all season long, so I don't see the ownership being there for him. I can definitely see ownership being there for Hubbard, but I'll go ahead and run that back then with a lower own. I feel like running back and possibly Aaron Jones. And then for my other receivers here, I am going to go with Jordan Addison here. Think that should be a good running back against Detroit. I think we mentioned that, what was it, in the slot area. I think he had, in the last game, he was actually being used a little bit more than Jefferson in the slot from what I saw. I don't know why this is spinning so much. But, so that's why I'm going to just go on the fact that he possibly gets to enter into that slot and take advantage of that cornerback that's out there first, and then end up Jefferson gets in there. If he can get going early and take advantage like he did before in the last game, that can actually work out for me there. And then we got, let's see, so At tight end here, I think I'm gonna go with Kraft, man, to go along with Aaron Jones, stack here, and Chuba Hubbard. I don't know what other options for Love he will have since a lot of the receivers are banged up. I feel like he's going to have to lean on Kraft a lot more in this game. And then it looks like we got a receiver flex and defense. So let's see what I want to go with here. I think I'm going to take something late to here since do we have anything late? Wow, we don't have anything late yet. So yeah, I'm going to go with I feel like possibly a safe play in P. Washington here. I feel like either quarterback, he still is in a good spot with either quarterback, but definitely, like I said, Bethard ends up playing, which right now my safest bet is that he's going to play. So I think Pete Washington is probably one of the safe plays there then to produce. And then we got at flex here, or my defense here. What do I want to do? You know what? At the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucks defense. They haven't been healthy all season, and now they just finally, got the first place. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick them. Because especially if they get Bethard, I think, still receiver can perform well. I just think the Buccaneers defense probably plays really good. Leaves me with 6,700. And so is this two late plays or no? So Metcalf isn't a late play, but we already know Metcalf already talked about this. The cornerback is out on his side, so he's going to get the first shot at being able to go off. We already know too that almost every week, the wideout, number one wideout goes off against Tennessee. And he also gets his number one quarterback back. So I think that all benefits Metcalf here. I don't mind even switching this up. We got, Pollard late against Miami. If you possibly think he pass catches his way, I think, into some success. He hasn't really shown up well, but let's see. Also, we have Laporta, Bijan Robinson, who's also failed us. Ridley late at least, if so, that would be I would easily put Ridley in here if I know what I want to say. Trevor Lawrence is playing to switch that up, but to just end it off here, we're going with DK Metcalf, man. So I really feel like this is a good lineup, man. Has a lot of explosive games or explosive what I want to say because the only thing we don't got is like pieces from that Dallas game, but I feel like we got enough good plays here, man, to hit big in a 9-game slate too. So just so y'all know, man, this might be my last video here, man, for this season. I'm getting ready to move, so I don't know if I'll be able to have my whole studio and desk stuff set up in time, to get y'all the videos out for the rest of the season. Possibly, be back for the playoffs for sure, though, once everything is set up and moved in and all that. So it's your boy J Star, man. Hopefully, I've been able to help all y'all out and win some big money though this year, man, this whole season. But stay tuned. I am going to finish up, of course, the showdowns and of course the Monday night or the Monday 3-game, slate we got to win on Christmas. So, but I'm out, y'all, man. Good luck, y'all. Peace.